The man considered responsible for revamping Purdue's residence hall system is retiring. John Sautter currently serves as the vice president for Housing and Food Services.
Julie Kreisen takes a look back at his career.
For the past 4 decades, John Sautter has devoted himself to Purdue. He first came to the university fresh out of the Army in 1971 as an assistant manager at Wiley Hall.
I was at Wiley for a couple of years. I went to Shreve Hall, transferred to Shreve Hall for 1 year, and then became the manager of Harrison Hall. And I managed that facility for 6 years.
Sautter also served as director of programming and counseling. He then became director of residence halls for 13 years. He was named vice president for Housing and Food Services in 1996.
I certainly have been blessed to have a nice career at one institution, which really doesn't happen much anymore.
As the vice president for Housing and Food Services, Sautter oversees all residences, the Purdue Memorial Union, Boiler Television, the Elliott Hall of Music, Loeb Playhouse, Fowler Hall, food stores, and the Slater Center.
I think as I stepped into this position, I was fully cognizant of what our forefathers had done for us in terms of really establishing a solid, well thought of housing operation on campus. And so my goal was to make it even better.
Under Sautter's leadership, student housing options have expanded. Many halls have been renovated, and a new hall, First Street Towers, opened in 2009. It offers students single rooms and private bathrooms.
The 356 beds were filled in 2 days, and so it was very popular, and so now we're actually going to add a third tower, and that construction will start this summer.
Sautter consolidated food services for students into 5 dining courts. Instead of the traditional cafeteria-type models, there are now these standalone dining courts. The dining courts offer students an expanded menu with a variety of made-to-order foods, and each dining court is different.
We have a nice dessert area where we actually have hand-dipped ice cream and flavored coffees. Most of our halls have Asian food concepts available. We always have burgers and fries at most all of our operations. Here it's called Legal Grease, which is just a great name for an item. Deli sandwiches are available. We have make-your-own waffles at just about all of our locations.
Even with all those responsibilities, Sautter's dedication to Purdue doesn't stop there. He also volunteers with the basketball team.
I host visiting basketball teams. This is something I've been doing since the early 80s. It was a position created by Red Mackey when they opened Mackey Arena in 1967 as a way to provide hospitality to the enemy team whenever they visit Mackey Arena.
So even though Sautter is retiring, he isn't saying goodbye to Purdue.
I hope to stay involved in the community and working on some possibilities to maybe even stay active on campus, maybe on a part-time basis or so.
And that was Julie Kreisen reporting. This note, Mr. Sautter's retirement will take effect on June 30th, which is the end of the university's fiscal year.